Good morning, everyone. Welcome as you start coming on in. It is Monday morning. I'm Nick Parrow. This is the Sick of This show for Chronically Illing Out. And I'm joined, as always, by my good friends and chilling out members Stephanie Wilson, doctor of history, amazing friend, good person, and just fun to hang out with. Good morning, Steph. How are you today?
Good morning. It is Monday morning, and that is how I am today.
Hey,
I
you're
am
alive, right?
I am alive. I am medicated, and I'm raring to go.
That's most of the battle right there, isn't it? It's being
Right.
alive, raring, and ready to go. I'm glad
That's
you're with
right.
us, Steph.
I'm glad to
Um,
be here.
and then next we have my other good friend, Beth Cruz, who is amazing. She writes beautiful um, meditations. She puts out fun information and good notes. And I'm really excited as she's building out her Substack and launching a lot of cool new stuff for Beth with the Possibilitarian. I think I said it right. Um, and and all the work she's doing. And we're going to feature another one of Beth's and Soso, who's not here with us today. She is chronically ill, which is, par for the course of chronically ill people, is we have
Oh,
to
she's in
adapt
the
and
chat.
overcome. She's in the chat though, and her name's showing up on the live because she accepted it before she fell out for the day. But I'm glad that Soso's with us in the chat and Beth is with us. They put together a beautiful and really thoughtful meditation that's going to go on at the end of our show, as always. And I'm so excited to showcase it. Beth, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm okay. I'm, I guess, like Stephanie, if Monday was a person. that's it. Good morning. Glad to be here, though, always. And
Good.
hello, Soso. Hope you're feeling better.
And finally, we have our guest today, Jack, who is joining us from Canada, and has graciously come on as another guest for us to introduce himself, talk about his chronic illnesses, a little about who he is and why he's in Canada, and the situation that's going on and how it impacts him. As someone who suffers from chronic illnesses, plus someone who has a career, who has a career in nursing, and as travel nursing, and how do you maintain that? Those are going to be some of the questions I want to get to with you today, because it's tough as shit with chronic illnesses to maintain a lot of things. So, Jack, it's really good to have you with us. Thank you for coming on. Do you mind giving everyone an introduction to yourself today?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much for having me on, Nick. I'm love the show. Try and be in the chat as much as I can. A little bit about me. I'm 36 years old. I'm a trans man, married to my lovely husband, David. We just celebrated our 1-year wedding anniversary, October 11th.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
we're having fun. Yeah, thank you. Um, so what Trump brought me to Canada, the FBI started tickling the idea of classifying trans folk as terrorists. I wasn't trying to get snatched up. I am in Canada via way of New Jersey. And as Nick touched on, I'm an RN and I was doing home health care in a very densely populated Hispanic area. So I had been dealing with ICE since January. And my full name is Joaquim Santos. I am Portuguese and also a trans man and a very easy target. And up next, so we're in Canada, and I'm here to help from afar, while also navigating having CPTSD, ADHD. I'm a cancer survivor, so I need meds to keep up with that. I need my hormones, so navigating all that. So happy to share my experience throughout the call.
Good. Well, I'm glad to
Yeah.
have you with us. I don't know why I did that. I'm trying to send out our show to everybody so we can have as many people as usual come in and hang out with us. Just like always, it's so good. I'm not sorry because I didn't do it. I'm really horrified that our country does this to people, that has made itself inhospitable to trans people, to anyone who isn't white, basically, and straight looking, and Christian fascist enough or techno fascist enough, whatever they want to call it. We don't do a lot of politics on this show, but I really hate that this is what our country has done. Like, I
And
want to live in a
if
place where our country welcomes people and everyone wants to be here. Like, you're not the first person who I know personally now who said, I've had to leave the country and I fear coming back in because of either who I am or what I say against the current administration. And that sucks. I am also glad, though, that you went to Canada, where they have a healthcare system that can help support you in your needs, and
Yeah.
doesn't marginalize you in the way that the U.S. is doing. And it really sucks to know that that's what our national policy is,
Yeah.
what it makes people feel like. So I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry that this has impacted you in this way, because it's not what I signed up to fight for or wanted to live in.
Right. And to piggyback off that, Nick, I have a very unique experience working as a nurse. I've worked very closely with the New Jersey National Guard. I was one of the charge nurses on the first field hospital built on U.S. soil since the Civil War. So,
Was
and
that
that
during
is
COVID?
during COVID, the one that popped up in the Meadowlands Expo Center.
So you're someone who we should
So,
actually be thanking and discussing as a national hero and appreciating for the service that you did. And as a prior service member,
well,
service doesn't just mean being in uniform. And
yeah,
thank you for the service you did during that times, because I don't think enough people actually thank nurses for the work that they do. And I know a nurse who had a friend die on the job, and like, it's not an uncommon thing that you
I
guys
had
are
a
all
coworker die.
overworked as
Yeah.
shit, and that's not okay. Like, especially as someone with a
Yeah.
chronic illness, how do you deal with that? How do you maintain your ability to work in a career like you're doing? Because it's a tough one.
I'm going to be totally honest. There's a lot of burnout. I have a really hard time um, because of my caring nature. I don't think any nurse who truly has it in them goes into it for any kind of money. It's just they can't not stop and put a band-aid on a scraped knee. Like, it's just in us. And I think that comes with most professions when you find your thing, if it's social work, if it is in the armed services, in intelligence, in tech, in whatever. Once you find your thing, you have to do it.
Yeah.
So um, it's a lot of therapy to help understand that my illnesses are more important than my patients, because if I don't take care of my illnesses, I can't be there to take care of theirs. So it's been a lot of a mindset shift. And that again comes from this PTSD, right? Like, all of the past traumas kind of conflate into a lot of guilt and I didn't do enough. And um, so yeah, it's a lot of therapy, a lot of journaling. Meditation helps a lot to just kind of shift to the mindset, if my cup is empty, I can't pour out. So I have to continually pour into my cup. Yeah,
Self-care is super important.
for sure. Yeah.
Self-care is so important, and it's something that we often forget. I know, Steph, you and I and Beth, we've talked about this a lot. Um, and yeah, I'm glad you're still with us, though. Like, I'm glad you're not one of the ones who I'm really glad you're not one of the ones who's fallen out from all of this.
Well,
And I
and
don't know
also
a better way to put it.
not
Yeah,
only
and I
just
mean,
fallen out, but one of the ones who survived.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Yeah.
it's
that
been a
was
struggle. Yeah, there's been a lot of times where I wish I wasn't here. I am one of those statistics of, 40+% of trans folks have either had suicidal ideation or an attempt. The US is not conducive to humanity right now. I think the folks in this room are, but as a system, it's not conducive to humanity. And I think we can change it.
I think we could.
And by humanity, I just mean like not even as a trans man, but just like as someone who has had cancer, and I don't have a thyroid, so I need Synthroid in order to live. But if I don't have a job, how do I get the medicine that I need to live?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So even that, like that basic humanity from a chronic illness standpoint. And just a full disclosure for folks in the chat, I can't see it for whatever point. So if folks are saying anything, if y'all can give me a hey.
Yeah, and we try and monitor
I'd love
the
that.
chat too to make
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, and we've got some incredible folks in our chat with us, and Jack, you are getting a lot of love.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so we have friends
I
like Will
appreciate
Fullwood
that.
in the chat with us. So welcome, Will. Thanks for coming and joining us. I get to talk to Will on Thursday about deconstructing racial prejudices in my own, and how I've deconstructed and turned into someone who wants to actively support anti-white nationalists, like, and I am very against it, but how I am actively pro other people. And I think that's part of what, like, why I started this is I just wanted a place where I'm not unseen. And I was unseen as a chronic illness at my last job. And I was overworked as hell. And I didn't want to have a place, like, I'm building something of my own. So I figured I may as well have a place to talk about it too. And I found some incredible folks along the way who have had similar and very different experiences at the same time. So it's awesome that we're all able to come together. And Jack, I'm really glad you find this a place that you want to come to and hang. That means a lot to me. That what I'm doing is actually getting through and helping. And that's really all I want to do. Is I'm in a position of privilege right now that other people are not, and I want to use that to the max. Because you don't need me, but it's good to know you have me around. Like, you don't need people don't women
need
don't
you.
need me.
I
But
need
Stephanie,
No,
Beth,
no,
you
no.
don't need me
I'm gonna
to
push back on
tell
that.
you you're
Nick.
amazing.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
good to have a friend
Well,
around who reminds
Well,
you that you're amazing.
I'm gonna push back on that. And if I could, as someone who, this is my first time meeting Nick, so I have no skin in the game, right? We need cishet white men. So cisgender, they align with their assigned sex at birth. Heterosexual, or at least heterosexual passing. I don't mean to assume anything
I'm
from anyone.
I'm pansexual. It's heart
Oh,
stop
me
heart
too.
for
Cool.
me. Like, I don't
Yeah,
give a
yeah.
shit. But
Yeah.
I'm happily married to my wife of 10 years now. So, like,
Yeah,
I'm cis presenting enough.
Exactly. And I like love to float the idea that I've lived on every letter of the alphabet throughout my life. And I now like pass as a gay man married to my husband. But like, come on. That's boring. But we do need like cis straight passing white passing men to be the voice, because Joe Rogan's a shithead and he's been amplifying the bullshit for years. So we need more like smart men. And I'm trying to be that, because I mean, I pass if I don't disclose. I know I have that privilege. Not all trans folk do. So I've been having a lot of conversations with more conservative folk here in Canada, because they see like there is humanity here, and I can get past the like, okay, let's talk about how COVID wasn't injecting a metal thing into your arm for the government to track you. I can teach you about mRNA vaccines. And they learn, and I love it.
Well, that is
Yeah.
so important. I think that so far, having met you, all of the things that you've said about yourself, one of the things that that you've downplayed is your role in COVID care. Um, and, being part of the first field hospital, that was, I, 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 I hesitate to say this, Nick, because I have not been in war, but I feel like those, especially early days of COVID, where people were dying all the time, was as close as most of us come. And you were on the front lines.
Yes.
And and to have now half the country say, "Oh, that didn't happen." That's not even the worst of it. Is the worst is, sort of what you went through and how many people you helped and how many people you helped when they were in isolation and you were in isolation. I mean, I know you've got all of these other pieces of you, and
Yeah.
they all go together to make you, but that's a really big piece that has to have changed you fundamentally.
It did. Yeah. So when COVID hit China, I was in Florida getting top surgery and watching the news. And I have ADHD, so yay, pattern recognition. That's so Raven. I can see the future, right? I knew
Mhm.
there's a lot of travel between China and the US, right? I knew it was coming any minute now. I had recovered from top surgery. I went and I was in a hospital in the city talking to a nurse. And I told him, this is going to be bad when it gets here because it's airborne, even if the CDC doesn't admit to it yet. We're nurses, up until a few weeks ago, very professional, knew a lot about science. I hope I still remember it. Joking. But we were talking about how bad it would be once one person sneezes on a subway car.
Mhm.
And then the overwhelm we would feel because we already don't have safe nurse patient ratios on a good day. And we never learned how to care for the Black Plague in nursing school. We just learned that it happened. And then we were trying to figure out how to treat people and keep them alive in real time as my coworkers were dying around me. And my first day back on the job after recovering from surgery, I called 2 times a death on patients that I had known for years.
Okay.
So it was a lot. Thankfully, like I had a good therapist during it. I was able to talk, but I was in self-isolation for I want to say it was 4 months straight, just me. And that did a lot. Um, yeah, that's no good. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that I'm surrounded by community now, and that there are folks out there saying very nice things in the chat. I can see it now, so thank you very much. Um, but I think it's a very unique intersection for folks that are like chronically ill, folks in the military, right? Folks in healthcare. Like we all share a lot of the same things that kind of make us us.
Mhm.
At that
There's a lot
time,
of trauma bonding. Sorry, Beth.
oh, go ahead.
There's a lot of trauma bonding that we go through in the military. And
Mhm.
from what I've heard from RNs and just anyone in the medical field. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
And
definitely,
if there's anyone out there listening, I know it's a long shot, but from the New Jersey National Guard, if there's any service members that I asked to go out and find me abnormal saline just to prank you, hi.
I noticed that was not an apology. That
no
was a sorry,
apology.
not sorry.
Nope, no, yeah.
Beth, you
Yeah,
were going to say
I
something.
sent them looking for a lot of weird stuff.
I was just, I can't even imagine the mental impact, the emotional impact. But how did your chronic illness, how did you deal with that at the time? What was the impact while you were going through all that?
Very poorly, to be honest. Um, again, like more like when my PTSD flares, like when I get triggered, I tend to like implode. Like, so that isolation was very like there would be days on end where like I worked 12-hour shifts Tuesday through Thursday, and then I was off Friday through Monday. And there'd be times where I don't know if I like spoke a single word like during that time. So um it was very tough. Luckily, I had a good friend um who was working with me throughout the experience. So we kind of leaned on each other throughout it. She was in isolation as well. We were both working at the field hospital. Um, so yeah, it was tough. My partner at the time and I didn't make it through kind of stuff, just communication crumbled. But having other nurses around, and then eventually like we kind of just had to lean on each other, like us nurses, the doctors, like the EMTs, the firefighters that actually saw the sick people. Um, Not to shit on the police officers, but like they weren't performing CPR the same way that, you know what I mean? Like they were keeping traffic out of our way, and we appreciated that. That's what we needed them for. But it's a different kind of trauma when you're actually um like I've done CPR on 98-year-olds. No one likes that. No one likes to do CPR on anyone, but on someone who like probably wouldn't want to be going through that much pain. And that even when we bring them back, like quality over quantity, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of trauma that goes into nursing. And just again, to bring it back to navigating chronic illness, right? Like I have crap joints, my back's a mess, right? Chronic migraines, if
I'm with you.
right? Yeah. Pseudotumor cerebrae, it's a really fun one if anyone wants to look it up. Fake brain tumor, it's just too much fluid in my brain. So
sounds fun.
there's like, yeah, it's great. It's I should maybe like the folks have been like, Jack, write a book, and I'm like, I have ADHD. A blank piece of paper scares me. If someone wants to like fund a podcast, maybe, but
Well,
yeah,
you're
maybe,
welcome
who
to
knows?
come back and hang
I
out
could
with
always
us
come and
too.
hang out with
Yeah.
y'all.
And a
and-
podcast actually doesn't like you just get on there and tell your story and people would listen.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
pretty
I
I
lit.
might
found
do
out.
that. Because I've been, again, to reel it back in with like chronic illness and nursing, it's hard because you want to do everything all the time, all at once, and neglect your illnesses. At least if one of your chronic illnesses is ADHD, I want to do everything all the time, all at once. Um, and I never know where to start, and I never know where to end. So it's tough. For those that are out there thinking of nursing, home health care is awesome. It's one-on-one private duty nursing. You have one patient. You can actually be the nurse you want to be and take care of that patient. Like they're gold, right? Like they're like your number one priority for the next 12 hours, and you don't have to worry about anything else but this one person. If that sounds like too much and too boring and you need to wiggle a little bit more, wound care nursing. You hop from home to home, go dress a wound, go to the next one. So just some tips there that I wish I knew 10 years ago before I had spent so many years frying my brain.
Thanks for sharing those.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's cool to get tips out and like good thing and like good information out. I know travel nursing is a fairly
It's
common
fun.
thing these days.
Yeah.
And so if you don't mind sharing a little before you go into it, is do you if you don't mind sharing a little bit about the travel nursing and how that impacts you too, are you more stationary? Do you hop around a lot? I used to live in an RV with my family of four of us, and we traveled a lot, but in a very different experience because we weren't afraid of our government. We weren't running or having to run or having to flee the country. We were getting to travel. So our experience was much more leisurely and very different. So I'd love to know, like, have you noticed a need like in Canada to travel a lot or move around? Or now that you're there and you're in a place that you like, are you able to be more stable?
So my husband and I were actually discussing this yesterday, and we both said that this was the first time in a very long time that we felt like we let out the breath we didn't know we were holding.
Mm.
Um, and we're actually able to get like air deep into our lungs. Uh, and I think it's just because we've been in an environment where we came in to Canada through Niagara and
Mm.
drove west. So we're now in BC, and we drove through Alberta, which everyone's like, "Oh, Alberta's so conservative. Like, be careful in Alberta." We were holding hands, making friends, introducing each other as husbands. My husband and I stopped holding hands in New Jersey maybe 2 years ago, and we don't refer to each other as husbands back in the States. So it's been great coming up to Canada. And I'm hoping that from what I've seen in our chat, in the chat on this call, from what I've heard in previous calls, our little community here is everyone that I've met, even in the most conservative parts in Canada. So I think we can get there as like being able to see each other's humanity, uh, especially since now being away from away from my stressors for a little while, and be able to like when you feel like you're actively under attack, there's no way to see any silver lining. You're just trying to get at a dodge. And after just like weeks and weeks and weeks of seeing like ice and hearing uh, how trans was inscribed on the bullet that killed Charlie Kirk before we even knew anything, and then the next day I get assaulted by a patient. So there's a lot. I forget the original question. I have ADHD, so if anyone wants to reel me back in,
No, I think
I'm
you
here.
I think you answered most of it, but like
Yeah.
the original question you answered that part is you feel more stable. Is you seem to
Yes.
have found a place
Okay.
that you feel comfortable at and you don't have to move around as much. Are you still considering yourself a traveling nurse right now, or are you trying to become more of like a in home and stable where because you it sounds like you actually feel comfortable again. You're not
Yeah.
afraid to be yourself and live where you're at right now, which is amazing. It's also really, really depressing to hear as a stater who, and yes, that's what everyone else around the
Mhm.
world calls us, are staters, because the Americas are more than just us.
America.
We're
Yeah.
I've
not
heard
the
a lot
only
of
Americans out there. Like Canadians are Americans,
Yes.
Mexicans are Americans, Colombians are South Americans if you want to get a difference but they're still Americans.
right.
Like I lived in Panama and they called it for a month and a half and they called us staters because they were like, oh, if you say you're an American, everybody's like, yeah, me too. I'm an American too.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, I've
as a
heard you.
stater, it's really depressing that we've regressed so far. Like it's worse than what it was like growing up in the 90s hearing about
Oh,
like
dude.
even back
Yeah.
then people were like homophobic as shit and
Yeah.
transphobic as shit without even realizing it in a lot of ways, and it was
Yeah.
really
But
unfortunate, but
we still all
we've
listen
just
to
gone worse.
Paramore. Like back
Yeah,
then, at least we all still listened to Paramore, and like we're still like fuck the system.
yeah,
Pardon my
Paramore's
language,
pretty
but
awesome.
You
They're
can say
still
yeah.
that.
writing
Oh,
music.
Haley Williams is just like heaven on earth. Like if no one's watched her recent Good Hang episode with Tina Fey, not to plug another podcast, but Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, if you're out there listening, you're welcome. I have to mention them 3 times every time I'm on air. I owe
I
Tina
love
Fey
it.
a lot of money. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, I think right now I'm really happy in BC. Um, I think I'm gonna go talk to an immigration attorney here in Canada, ask them what they think my best option is, if I should just like go the, typical trying to get my nursing license route. Uh, but you can only visit Canada for 6 months before you have to head back into the States. So I think it's time for me to talk about my danger in crossing the border with an attorney and talk about getting asylum because I don't think it's far-fetched.
No.
No,
My
and I know
my
Canada was
family
No,
often
has
it's
been
starting to
like,
not.
that's
offer that.
my family's told me that's far-fetched, and I'm like, don't gaslight me.
No, no,
Like,
no,
I know
no.
my danger.
Yeah.
It's not far-fetched. No.
No.
Sadly.
And Canada is looking for nurses. I mean, there are certain
Mhm.
Yeah,
things that
I
they
know
want.
BC is. Yeah, I know BC is one of the province that they're like actively looking. One of the really lovely local folk that run a pizzeria here told me about a special that just went on about the first nurse that immigrated from US to Canada because of the administration and the danger they would face. So,
So how did you
Yeah.
get to Substack?
how did I get to Substack?
How did you get here?
That's a great question, Beth.
Yeah, so I was it through Hassan? It might have been through Hassan Piker and then like a link in his chat or something. And then that led me to Substack. And Nick was one of the first folks that I found on Substack. I forget how. ADHD, it's a wonderful drug. But I was just looking for more accurate journaling because I wasn't finding information that I needed as a trans man to know if I was still safe and if I could continue to work in the States. So I eventually found an article about, again, the FBI trying to classify folks as terrorists. I know I restacked it if y'all want to scroll through whoever's in the chat to look more into that. It's there. But again, just with the vilification through the executive orders, it's not safe and it's hard to find information because this is painting with a broad brush, but no one cares about the trans community. I know folks care about the trans community, but we are an easy scapegoat, even in the queer community, right? Folks will throw the trans folk under the bus before the gay men will stand up and fight. It's just a known thing. And again, as a gay man who's also a trans man, like I can accept that, right? I think we all need to like start holding ourselves accountable too, and like looking at our own internal phobias and biases. But where was I going with this? Was I traveling or was I moving to Canada?
Oh, you were. How did you get to Substack?
Substack. Yeah. Okay. So
I had to
finding that
remember.
article. Thank you. Finding
This
that
is what
article.
happens when you get 4 people who have ADHD or short-term memory
I know,
issues.
like we need a
Or
mod
brain
to be like, hey,
fog,
hey,
or
hey.
right.
Yeah,
Gosh,
yeah.
this
Well,
is
we
why
all have
we
brain
need
fog from
so
the
You're in the
crazy. It's so
headlights.
much
most
fun.
solid of us.
Yeah. But I should really be like jotting down the topic I'm on. But yeah, so I found that article and then I was like, okay. They're trying to cover up the Epstein files. This is why all of this is happening. This is why we're all in danger. This is the only reason why anything is happening is because we're trying to cover a pedophile ring. This is why no one can have healthcare because we're giving too much money everywhere else to cover all this bullshit, right? This is why the healthcare system's for profit, so we can pay for all this other bullshit. Like we're all just protecting it's disgusting that it all like winds down to that at the end, and it's no longer a tinfoil conspiracy. Like, but I needed to find more info, and through trying to find more info about Epstein, and I wanted voices that I knew I could trust. Like I don't go to a dentist to ask about my gallbladder. Like I'm not gonna go to CVS to ask about when they're protecting themselves, right? So like I was looking for independent voices and folks who had served in areas and done the job and had real life on the job experience, because I don't care what your education is. I want to know what job role you did. Did you perform it well? And are you using those skills now to help society? And that's what I was looking for, and I found y'all. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you. I'm glad
Yeah.
you're with us.
I'm glad you're with us too.
That's a compliment.
It's been great having you so far today. This has been a really fun conversation, and I
Yes.
appreciate it a
I'm
lot.
happy to be here.
So thank you for joining us. This is, like I said, I'm having a great time, and it also feels really good to know that our community is growing and that it's what I was hoping it would be, is a place that is safe. And like I said in the chat at one point is, and if you're listening on this on replay too, is I protect the chat well. Like I protect our space because it's important to, because one, it's my platform and I'm not going to have haters come on and ruin my show and be dickheads while we're doing things. But I also I want more people to come in, regardless of your political affiliations, regardless of your work statuses, regardless of where you are. If you have a chronic illness and you just want to learn and talk about it and share your experiences and be in a place where others do the same, it often leads to a secondary effect of you learning how to be more empathetic just because you have joined the conversation. And if you're willing to learn and be a part of it, that's what I want. Like I want people here who are willing to learn and talk. And our chat is so amazing because people share their experiences and they engage with us and they ask so many great questions. And we're going to be at some point featuring, I'm going to do a piece of poetry from B's Free Verse, True Verse, who's one of our friends in the chat. And I just want to make this place where people do feel comfortable because, like I said at the beginning, I was overworked as shit and left alone basically in a lot of ways at my last job because of my chronic illness. And it was very isolating and it was very numbing to my personality, and it hurt my family and it hurt me, and I want to recover from that. Like it's okay that we all can recover from that because we have to deconstruct some of the bullshit that we're learning or have been taught into, where we're just like cogs in a machine and the only thing we're good for is our work and what we can produce, but not who we are as a person. And I was tired of having my ideas stolen by other people. So I was like, I'm just going to put my ideas out there myself so nobody can steal them, because here you go. They're out there for everybody to see. And I encourage everybody to do that too. Like put your ideas out there if they care. Yeah.
So to piggyback off what you just said, you were tired of folks getting money for your ideas. We spoke about Haley Williams earlier. Have you heard any of her new album?
I think I've heard at least one of her songs.
So there's a song called Ice in My OJ, and there's a line that just goes, I got ice in my OJ, I'm a cold hard bitch. A lot of dumb motherfuckers that I made rich. I that's like my new vocal stem that I've just been running around saying.
I'm
Because
just gonna say,
your camera's following you, Beth.
Is it? Damn it!
Damn it, Janet.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You're a bitch. What?
Oh yeah, the fuck Trump one.
Oh, it's
yeah.
Trump.
I love that.
You're backwards, though.
Yeah.
Oh well, you get the. I just wanted to say
yeah.
that since we're all suffering partly because of.
Yeah.
If we know Beth's backwards, I'm going to unmirror her so she's not backwards.
No, am I backwards?
So now you were.
Now you're not. Now you're front.
Halfway through, everybody's going to be like, "What happened to Beth?" Camera. What are you doing?
There we go. There we go.
There you go. Because it's important. It is important to say that.
That's where I'm at today.
It's also important to say, like, fuck RFK Jr. and the policies that they're pushing through, because they're harmful. They're harmful
They are
to us.
harmful. And to piggyback on that cog in the wheel thing, as someone with chronic illness, I feel the same way, even as a nurse. Like, I would let them know I was getting burnt out. Too bad we got deadlines, right? And even after this last thing, like getting assaulted under mental duress, uh, seen by workers' comp psych, told to get back to work. We are cogs in a wheel. Like, we
Yeah.
need to break this system.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it is not conducive to humanity in the US anymore. And as someone who's lived in other countries, who's like, my family's from Portugal. I spent every summer as a kid in Portugal and would come back to the States and beg my parents for us to move back to Portugal. Because even back then in the 90s, as a little kid, I saw it because I'd lived somewhere else.
Right. Well, I think that's also why people who, and this is kind of a circle, right? It's the people who are curious who go other places, who recognize what's going on in the United States, but it's also like you don't go somewhere else unless you're curious. So you will never recognize
Yeah.
the United States. It's a kind of a weird thing, tautology, I
And
guess, tautology,
yeah,
but
and it's tough too because the US is not, I know we're one country, but really like we're 50 little countries because we don't teach the same thing across the board and we don't hold folks to account in the same way across the board. Right? Like like what is it? The age of consent is different in any state, which is fucking weird. Should be 18 across the board, right?
Yeah.
Like
Nick and I live in entirely different countries. We like live across
Yeah.
the planet from each
Yeah.
other. I'm in Massachusetts.
And
oh
I'm
my
in
gosh, yeah, and
Arkansas.
even me in New Jersey and folks in Massachusetts, it's like a completely different planet because like the amount of gun violence I deal with, and that's like normal to me. Like I grew up hanging out in Newark. Folks are like Newark, oh, and I'm like, what do you mean? You want to go for coffee? Like, yeah, like it's normal to me. And like folks are talking to me in Canada, they're like, oh, I don't know, the hospitals are tough. And I'm like, I had to talk a patient through getting I had to talk a nurse through getting one of our patients off a school bus during a gunfight. So I think I'm good in Canada. Like, sorry to
Whereas
trauma dump. Sorry to trauma dump, folks.
no,
It's
but like
Don't
I
be
go
sorry.
outside of
Yeah.
Massachusetts
okay.
or Maine and I'm like, holy shit, am I going to get shot? Because like people don't carry out here. Like
Yeah.
maybe they do, but they keep it quiet and they don't use the guns. Right. And
Yeah.
even just thinking, I mean, there's Washington, D.C., but I went to Indianapolis and I was like, okay, I'm downtown Indianapolis. Like, am I going to be okay? Like, I
Yeah.
was in DC the night that those two kids got shot.
Oh.
I was not close, and I was doing an
Mhm.
event where I was interviewing somebody for a podcast. But like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
And I live in
Dude.
Arkansas, where we're right on the border of Missouri, where it's easier to get a gun in Missouri than it is pretty much anything else. And it's free open carry there. And Arkansas has one of the highest gun death rates and school shooting rates in the country. I'm really lucky in the district that we're in that has a very, 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 very low rate of violence. But I live in a state where just this weekend, the Blood Tribe neo-Nazis were openly marching in Little Rock. And like, my daughter has less rights than she did and my wife than when we lived in Washington State. And we moved here willingly because it's in the middle of family and it's a convenient location for us. And I mean, we're white passing, and we're straight passing, so it's easy. But it shouldn't have to feel like that. Like, I shouldn't have to think that it's easy for me to live in a place just because I'm white and straight passing. Like, I've lived in cities, I've lived in areas outside of cities, I've lived in plenty of places, and I've never really felt unsafe, only because I don't need to feel unsafe. Like, I'm never the victim of these. Well, outwardly, I'm not the victim. of a lot of these violences. I mean, I'm Jewish, so I mean, I went to the Tree of Life synagogue. I attended that synagogue before it got attacked. Like I've been to that one before, so I knew where it was. Like that was a neighborhood I knew in Pittsburgh, because I went to school around the
School
corner
there.
from
Yeah.
it. I went to Carnegie Mellon and I learned music, and that was right around the corner from us. And so I've gotten to see a lot of the segments of at least the U.S. in terms of how different they are. And then I've got Oklahoma bordering me as well. Like it's right near there, and they're scary as shit a lot of times. Like that state isn't safe for many people. But then we've got Kansas right nearby us, who is this weird, like red, but also fairly progressive area and has some very moderate views and values where some people feel safer than you would otherwise think they might in those areas. But there's no diversity here, not in the way that it was when I lived in Washington State or Pennsylvania.
Oh, in Vermont, it was really diverse there too, right?
Whitest state in the union, yeah. I was always, we actually had a fairly large refugee community as I was growing up from, I think it was from the Congo, and that was really neat. Because we got to have new culture and new experiences, and they helped add to the food scene in the area. They brought music and life, and like that's what I don't understand about people who hate other cultures. It's like you just take a second, and it's same with people who don't understand chronic illnesses and disabilities. Is you just take a second to listen and hear, and you'll find some amazing things. Like you don't even have to be trying, and you'll just find some amazing things if you just take a moment to listen and hear, to learn rather than listen and hear to respond. And like that's what I learned through all of my travels is how to hear people. And it's taken me a while too, like years of therapy to get to the point where I'm at too. And I'm glad I'm here to be able to hear and listen and learn. And I've seen a lot of really nice things in the chat for everyone today. But I want to say thank you, everyone in the chat and community who do trust me and trust that we're going to make this a safe place. It really means a lot to me. Like I want to be a place where others can feel like their voices are boosted and valued and on an equal playing field and equal level to my own, if not more important. Like my voice may be very important because I'm an ally who is straight and white, who is, well, straight enough, but who is white and passing and actively going against this. And I know I have value in this fight, and I put myself down fairly often, and I talk myself down because that's just part of my chronic illness. My part of my depression and anxiety around this is I don't feel like it's that imposter syndrome. I don't feel like I should be here, but I'm going to be here anyway, and I'm just going to keep doing it. So thank you everyone who comes into our chat and makes this a safe place too. Like a lot of this is because of y'all, like you folks, everyone who comes here and talks and gives us feedback. And that's how we met Jack. That's how Jack reached out after last week, I think it was, when I said, or 2 weeks ago when I said, hey, we would love some space for people to come and tell their stories. And we've had Sushi Philiac on. Jack is our second guest, I think.
Yes.
We're going to be having more guests too. Like this is what I really want, is this space to grow so that even if you don't have a chronic illness, you understand what people with chronic illnesses sometimes go through and how we go through the day. Like I don't always present it because I'm on a lot of lives, but I get done and my body shuts down. Like that's what people don't see behind the scenes is I go to bed every night and I cannot feel my left leg from roughly from just above my hip down. It's like gone. And I couldn't feel the bottom of my feet yesterday. Like my wife had her foot against me in bed and I couldn't feel that she had her foot against my foot except for in one pressure point. And like that's what I go through at the end of the day. And it's nice to have a space where I can talk too and let out some of these so I don't feel isolated. So yeah, it's often really hard when we have more invisible illnesses or more invisible things. And like Jack, had you never mentioned it, I would have assumed you were just a after you said you were married to your husband, I would have said, oh, he's just a gay man. Like, and I don't know if that's a compliment to you or not. I, but it like you pass as a man. Like you look like
I,
me in a lot of ways, and
dude,
that's
I
Yeah.
amazing. It's
appreciate that.
simple.
I appreciate that because I want folks to, and like, feel free, whoever's in the chat, if you need to take a screenshot just to show this as an example. But when folks start spewing the nonsense of everyone should use the bathrooms of the genitals they were assigned at birth,
That's fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry.
I just want Steph, Beth, would y'all feel comfortable if you saw me just like bust into the women's restroom and like?
I wouldn't think anything of it.
I mean,
But you
bathroom's
live
a
in
bathroom. I know
Washington.
y'all are chill people, but like, imagine me like busting into a women's restroom in Arkansas because
Oh, that would be an issue
right
in our.
because
It would
they got
cause a lot of
they
issues.
got what they asked for.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, that's why they ask for it. It's because they
Right?
want more.
But like, what are the women
self-analysis.
gonna do in that room? Like, I don't want to make anyone like. Are you fucking? I don't want to use the women's restroom. It fucking stinks in there. Like I've used both, and not for nothing, but the men's restrooms are cleaner.
That is nuts to hear. Like,
Yeah.
as a
So
dude
like,
who's never really used a women's restroom except
yeah,
for one or two
yeah.
times in Washington, when like
Y-
you go to a
like,
gay
you know
bar
when-
and everyone's like,
Yeah.
yeah, go whatever fucking restroom you need to go into. Nobody gives a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird to think that men's restrooms smell less. Just as
Yeah.
a side comment on this, that
Well, there
they
are
smell
different
less than
smells that
women's.
happen. There are
Yeah.
different smells that happen,
Oh yeah.
I
and
had
I'm
this.
just gonna leave it at that.
I had this kind of, those internal fantasies, or what are you going to, I was at the airport in Boston and something had just happened where somebody called a woman out and said she was trans and really a man in the women's restroom. And I was like, okay, what would I do in this situation? I would be like, okay, well, I gamed it out. Well, okay, you think this woman isn't a woman? Okay, let's all drop our pants. And then we
Yeah.
can see, like, I don't think you're like, yes, sir, but like, how would I handle that? Like, could I
But,
find
like,
the
this-
most
But
obnoxious
who's
way?
making eye contact in the bathroom? Like, I know when I go into a public restroom, I'm doing a beeline for the stall I need to use, a beeline to the sink to wash my hands, and a beeline right out of there.
Oh, I don't know
Like,
if you remember.
I don't
but
even
in
see
the
anyone
women's
around me.
restroom, like when we're washing our hands, there's a
I don't know.
Men's
even before
restrooms are
that.
very
I've
different.
always been a dude, so I don't know.
We make
Yeah.
friends in the restroom. Actually,
Yeah.
We-
yes.
there's bonding.
We like
that
the
goes on.
walled urinals
Oh my
and
God.
stalls that go up to the roof where you can't see anybody and nobody's
Do you know-
peeing on you. Like,
Do you know how
we
many
like-
times I'd come?
boom.
Someone tried to talk to me in the men's room while they were at the urinal, and I'm in a stall, and they're trying to, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "Shut the hell up! I can't hear myself pee. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
if I'm
the
done.
only-
I
What are you
can't
doing?"
pee if someone's talking to me.
Yeah.
The only time I think I've ever had like a interaction that was fun in a bathroom was when I was in college and I was in a school of music and the men just broke out singing. And like everybody was like, "Oh, we're just gonna sing while we're in here. Like, who gives a shit?" That was the only positive experience I think in a bathroom like that. Like that's not a men's thing. It's like shopping for me. It's like I do a
Right.
beeline to exactly where I need to go, and then I'm out. And that's what I
Yeah.
want. It's the same idea in the bathroom. In, out.
It's a
quick as possible.
transaction. Yeah.
Yeah, like who's watching anybody? Unless you're the weirdo pedophiles that are on the right wing who are actually, or just in our society who are actually.
And they don't even
doing
need to
things
dress up
that.
like women. They just like
Yeah,
freely walk
they just
in
do
and
it
like, set
anyway.
up cameras. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the weird ones, not.
Yeah, they're the
Folks
ones
who are
that put
just
up like
trying
a
to live.
construction sign and just walk in there and like it'd be like bathroom closed, construction, like set up a little creepy camera and walk out, right? Not
Yeah.
to like ladies look up.
Check your stalls.
Men
There's some
are
weird
fucking
fucking people out
creepy.
there.
They're gross. And like, the little
Okay, now I
hangy
have
hook
it.
thingy and like how it has that little black end.
What?
right? You know, where you
Really?
put your
I
bags.
never even thought about
I
that.
don't know, but like check there, right? That's an easy spot and it's inconspicuous enough. And this is just like a fun, helpful tip from, you know, your friendly neighborhood trans nurse that is like, tired of seeing ladies telling me creepy shit
Shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
because I hear a
And
lot of stories. I make a lot
yeah,
of friends. Yeah,
I'm glad you do. And thank you for
yeah,
sharing them with us. And I
for
think
sure.
now
No,
might
I
be a
really
great
no,
time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nick. No, I really don't thank you for sharing that.
I know, right? I'm sorry.
Thank you for sharing it
But
with me
also
so
be
that I can
safe.
arm my
Put your
crowd with
jacket over it every time. Just, you know,
Okay.
put a coat over the hook. Even
All
if you're
right.
not
men.
wearing a coat.
Men, don't be
Okay.
afraid to do the same thing
Men do
either, because
better.
there's weird shit out there too for all of us. Like these people, there are a lot of people who just are gross.
Yeah.
And we're trying to fight that. Like, this is not grossness. And I think a good segue for this is let's get our blood pressure down for the last couple minutes of the show, because I have another engagement in about 20 minutes for an early Palin talk today. But I want to make sure that we get our meditation in for the day. And let me know, please, when I switch the screen and I start it in the chat very quickly. If you cannot hear it, let me know and we will restart. So, for anyone who doesn't know, and welcome with us, is we now do a meditation at the end of every one of our shows for the last few minutes before we say goodbye and wish everyone out. And today's meditation, and they're always written by someone in our group. So, last week, Stephanie Wilson did a meditation for us live. The week before, Beth Cruz did her meditation. And this week, Beth and Soso put together an amazing video collection of Soso's photography and Beth's meditation with her voiceover for it. So I'm really excited for this one. It's going to be beautiful. Beth wrote the meditation for today and performed it. And so, yeah, let's switch it over and switch gears a little and settle ourselves before we wish ourselves out of here and give everybody a great afternoon or a great day. So thanks, y'all. Let's enjoy this meditation today. And let me know, please, quickly in the chat, too, if for some reason the meditation does not make any sound. Let me know, because I want to make sure.
Or make any sense.
It makes sense. You've already
It
been
makes
free.
sense.
Yes.
It makes sense. And I'm going to mute myself so that there's no double voice going on, hopefully, and take some time and relax, everyone. At this point, smash that heart and stop chatting. Enjoy the meditation itself and meditate and relax with us. Pending start.
Welcome to a visual, magical horse journey. Begin by taking a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Take this moment to relax while you enjoy the peace and tranquility of the forest. Between the vibrant green moss and towering trees, a well-traveled path of earth and stone lie before you. The mist cloaks the forest in magical mystery and imagery. The rock path doesn't prevent you from moving forward. It only advises to slow down and to breathe. You are present in this moment of solitude, witnessing the beauty of nature. Give yourself permission to be mindful of all in front of you as you journey on this path. Perhaps you smell the scent of pine, fir, and damp earth. Release any tension or stress that you are carrying, surrendering to this moment of stillness. Imagine you feel a warm, gentle breeze on your skin, or hear the mist dripping from the leaves on the ground, watching as it quenches the forest floor. The moss clings to the trees, their branches weathered by time. Still, they continue to be part of nature's balance. The deep green ferns pushing through the rich soil. the light peeking through the mist. A symphony of beauty in nature, exploding in quiet rhythm and deep colors. The rays of the sun push through the canopy and through the mist to envelope your body in warmth. Breathe in this wondrous moment as your body and your mind relax. You feel calm and grounded as you witness the sun blanket the trees, and your hike comes to an end. Remember that you can always return to this forest whenever you want. It is yours to walk in whenever you wish to return.
And with that, as I unmute myself and everyone, Beth, that was amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that. I feel better
Great.
already. So what a wonderful way to partially close out our show. And although we're a couple minutes over, let's give everyone time to sell themselves a little. As always, let's help build this community strong. And I know he didn't ask for it, but come support Jack. Come become a subscriber. I subscribe to Jack. Follow his story and the journey that he's chronicling or starting to or just discussing. Or coming on lives with us, and help support him. Help become a subscriber with him. Jack, do you want to sell yourself in any way, and how people may be able to support you while you're doing all this?
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. While I'm not currently writing anything, I'm toying with the idea. Again, a blank sheet of paper terrifies me, so I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Could we do
But
Jack
I love
Libs?
having conversations. Jack Libs, for sure.
Like Mad Libs,
My-
but for Jack?
Y'all should. If y'all want to give me writing prompts, I'm more than happy to write about them. What I think would be cool, if anyone in the chat really has never had a trans friend and needs one, so they can learn about our experience and how to better help the community, how to better be a human being, and wants to throw me any writing prompts or any ideas of what you'd like to learn, because I know what I've lived, but I don't know what y'all need, and I'll never know because I just assume that everyone's empathetic. But if whatever y'all want to shoot my way, my DMs are open. I'm friendly. It'll probably take me forever to get back to you because, again, ADHD and I like to play in the woods. But that's me.
Well,
Come follow along.
Thanks, Jack. I appreciate it. And I hope everybody does follow along with Jack. And then next, my good friend, Beth.
I just got out
On
of the
the
live
spot.
for a minute. Sorry, I was trying to find the link. I'm going to put the link in for the video. It's on my site, and it'll be on SoSo's, so you can always see the videos at either site. I came here to write trauma, but I found that I'm really enjoying my first attempts at making these videos with SoSo and bringing her pictures to life and a few of mine. So please come join me and subscribe. And Jack, you're just amazing human. I'm really glad you were here today. Appreciate you. So,
That's very
thank
sweet.
you.
Thank you,
all
Beth.
for being
Thank you.
here.
Thank you, Beth. And next, my good friend, Stephanie Wilson.
Thank you, Jack, for coming. I think it was really wonderful to have you. Most of you know me, so I'm just going to give you a quick update on what you can expect this week. Tomorrow at 1, I'm talking to, this is kind of a Jewish week. And so there are a lot of internal Jewish conversations if you want to listen in. Tomorrow at 1, I'm talking to Rabbi Sandra Lawson, who is Black and Jewish and a rabbi. And we're going to talk about the Jewish community and being Black and allyship and those sorts of things. And then on Wednesday, I'm talking to Deborah Shushan, who is a Middle East expert. We're going to be talking about the rift or schism within the Jewish community over Israel-Palestine and everything else that comes up with Rabbi Sandra. So that's this week. And if you can become a free or paid subscriber to Freedom Over Fascism, where you get your context, your community, your creativity, and your civic action, I would really appreciate it. And thanks, Nick, for having us all here. It's like, it's such a grounding part of my week.
I love doing this, so thank you guys for being here with me. And she's not here today, but her name is in our chat. Is go join Soso's World too. Become a free or paid subscriber with her. And she has turned on her paid subs, so come help support Soso's work and the beautiful photography she's doing, the meditation she's helped being part of, and this community. And I love having Soso with us, and I hope she feels better throughout the day and is able to join us again next week. And then finally, quick sell, because I got to hop off here because I got another show, is come join me here at Sick of This Shit Publications, where I make all of this happen. And help me get to 250 paid subs before the end of the year. I have put on a sale that's starting today for anyone for 60% off forever. So come become a paid sub with me. Help me get to 250. And when I do, I'm going to unpaywall the music that I have put out, the Lento Vivo flute trio recording. And then every 50 paid sub after that, I'll put out another composition that I've written and recorded for everyone to be able to hear, because I want to spread some creativity, but also have a bit of a fun way to get them out and incentive for me to try and get them out. So please come become a paid sub. If not, if you can't, free is just as important too. It helps get the word out and spread everything. So thank you all for being here. Jack, thank you for coming with us. I really appreciate it today. We will definitely have you back on, and I'd love to talk more, because I want to learn. I want to make sure that I can be a great ally and somebody that fights for equality and making it a place where you actually want to come back home to. Because I want you to feel safe and feel like you don't have to be somewhere else or hide who you are. And it makes me sad that people have to.
Y'all have a lot of work to do, because DC hosts the biggest fountain pen convention in the world every year, and I want to go back to the show because I had way too much fun the last time.
We're gonna make that happen.
So
we're gonna make it
we'll
happen.
work on that.
Get it together. I got fountain pen shows to go to.
Okay.
Heck
All
yeah.
right.
That's a great
Sounds
way.
good.
And with that, everyone, we are done being sick of this shit here, and we're doing this shit. So let's have a great day. I'll see all of you all here soon on Palin Talk with me, Shane Urich, and Dana Dubois over on Banner and Backbone. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Steph. Thanks, Beth.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.